Hi everyone, welcome back to another Cut Above with Chris. Head shave time. I've just finished my face shave and had something to eat and I've come back again. And as you can see, I am a little bit red from the one blade. It's not a smooth, it is a smooth razor, but it's got a learning curve with it, for me anyway. So I'm hoping the more I use it, the more I get used to it. I'm not going to use it every day because at the moment I need to have comfortable shaves up until my giveaway, which is in 2 days time. And I might leave it sort of, my next shave with it after this head shave. I don't know, I'll see how I go. I might leave it a few days, get a bit of growth and then start with a bit fresher skin and just see how I go with it. But it's still smooth, it's just got a bit of a learning curve for me. So head shave today, I'm going to be using Omega shaving cream. I haven't used this for ages. This was my go-to, as you can see I've used a fair bit of it, big tube. My go-to head shaving cream. I loved this stuff when I used to use it. I'm going to use it today. It's got a beautiful menthol kick to it, very similar to Proraso. I think Proraso possibly make that for Omega. I've just squirted it in the bowl like that, loads of it, I just gulp it in. It goes for ages, it's quite cheap. The brush is the Brush Guy, as you can see there, made by Matt Martin. Nice scent coming out of the brush now, so I'm just going to dip that in the water, give it a good flick off, and then straight into the bowl. I haven't bowl lathered this stuff in this new bowl yet, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes in this one. From past experience, it's always given me a great lather. I've never struggled with a lather with this cream. It just seems to go and go and go. Very slick, provides great cushion, and it's from memory. So long since I've used it, months since I've used it. It gives a thick creamy lather. And that's what I want today. I want a good bit of protection on my head because I'm going to be using the one blade on my head for the first time. Oh, the menthol coming out of here is unreal. Now, the menthol kit is nothing like Sterling Glacial, the Fine Snakebite, PA, Frostbite, Arctic, all those ones. It's nothing like that. But there's enough cooling in here to really cool you down without it being overpowering. One of the first creams that I bought actually. I think it might have actually been the very first cream that I bought. Just adding a little bit more water. So I haven't been whipping this for long, as you know, because you've just been watching me. We're pretty much where I want to be. Got 2 days growth on my head. How's this looking? Looking pretty good, apart from that big hair, which isn't from the brush, it's from my wife's head, again. Just dip the tips again, just add a little bit more water in it. I want a good slick lather for a head shave. And this head shave, obviously, the same as my face shave, is dedicated to Mickey Lee Soapworks. I don't have any Mickey Lee Soapworks products, so I couldn't actually use one for the shave, but given all the shit they went through yesterday, or I don't know when it was yesterday or 2 days ago, then this is for them. So as you can see, bowl's full, brush is loaded, let's wet the head and get stuck in. As with all my shaves, there's no prep. I just wet my head, I wet my face and get stuck in. No messing about. If you're ever wondering where I go when I disappear every now and then like that, it's just to open up my bathroom cabinet mirrors so I can see my head over there on the other side of the man mirror, just for the purpose of painting the lather when I can see that I've covered all my head. Now, I don't know whether, just to dip the tips I think I will, because it looks just a little bit dry. I'm not getting any at this stage so far. No feeling from the menthol. But as you can see, the lather is excellent. I know this lather used to work well, It'll be interesting to see whether it still cuts the mustard, considering all the soaps that I've tried over the last 6 months. One blade, because it's got one blade. Brand new blade in here for the head shave. I've kept my other blade for my face shaves. I'm going to use this one for the head shave. Brand new. Let's see how we go. So let's go with the grain. Now because it's only got one blade and there's not much gap, you need to sort of keep on top of it with rinsing it. It is doing a surprisingly good job. If I'm brutally honest, I had visions of it really struggling, but because it's such a thick, rigid blade, it helps with the thick head here. That's part of the reason why I love the Kai blades, because they are that little bit thicker. If I'm brutally honest, it's actually very smooth, very comfortable. But so far, this is all with the grain. And as you guys know, it's not the with the grain that matters, it's against the grain. That's where the razor will have to really perform. So like I say, there's not a whole heap of gap top and bottom of this blade. There is gap top and bottom, but there's not a lot of. So you've just got to keep on top of it with the rinsing. So far, it's doing a pretty good job. It feels very smooth. It's cutting through the hair very efficiently. One thing I do like about it that I'm noticing on the back now is I don't have to adjust the razor quite as much. It just glides, you just push down and the pivot follows your head. I'm noticing that straight away. It'll be interesting to see how it goes against the grain. Really interesting. But so far, so good. Let's empty the bowl. I've got 2 days ago, I've got quite a bit on me. Now the water that is running off my head onto my cheeks is burning because of that previous shave. Yeah, I've just splashed my face there and it's really burning. It's red raw. Really, yeah. Surprised. The blade on the one blade feels very smooth, feels smooth on your skin, but I might be pressing far too hard on it. I think that's maybe the issue. I am pressing pretty hard on my face with it, so I might just have to take just a little bit of a step back. So I'm getting that nice cooling menthol in it, which is nice. It's not an overpowering menthol at all. If you want to just give menthol a go, this is definitely a cream to go for because it lathers superbly. It's got great slickness and lovely cushioning as well. It's not up there with your Occams and your Castle Forbes or Vado, but for the price it's superb. As you can see, that's a lovely, it's still thick, still creamy, the bowl still chockers. Right, the moment of truth, the one blade against the grain. I never judge it on the first bit because this part of my head is the easiest to shave. Now if I could judge it on this part of my head, I would say that it's better than the Wunderbar and Mackay blade. You can really see the slickness on the Amiga cream there, how it performs, just excellent. Now one thing I do like about this razor is it's quite... I know I'm still changing the angle because I'm not quite used to it yet. Technically I should be just sort of pushing and letting the blade do its work. But just based on that, it's very comfortable, even with the movement myself. But so far, pretty good. It's not... Let's see how we go here. Well, I'm quite surprised with that. I didn't think it would do that well against the grain. Just on that part I felt pretty good. Just got to get the blade cleaned out. It's a little bit... One thing I don't like about the blades, they're covered in wax, covered in it. I've got to clean them off before I put them in the blue razor. It does my head in. Yeah, I'm coming across a bit of an issue already. It's not getting as close as a DE. But it's smooth and it's... Just trying to trust the pivot a little bit more. Residual slickness is a bit poor, it's not that great yet. there's no doubt about it, it's not as smooth, not the razor itself, the actual finished product. I mean, it's pretty good. It's alright. It's not great. There's a few bits here and there and that I've missed, but first time ever using it, so I've got to give myself some sort of leeway. And I've also got to give the razor some as well, because the razor's never been used. It's never been in my hand before for a head shave. But certainly, there's no juddering, no jumping, no skipping. It's very smooth against the grain. Let's just lather up again. There's certainly nothing wrong with the lather. The soap is, the cream itself is excellent. It's got pretty good slickness. The residual slickness wasn't quite as good on that second pass as what I would expect from an artisan, but that's what you get when you pay that little bit more. Right, so I just pretty much got all over everything again. Let's just see how it finishes up on this repass shave with pickups. I mean, already on that section there, it's sort of struggling to take it down as close as my Kai blade. It really is. This is the sort of shave I would expect from like a Mirka 34C. Really mild. Not really cutting the mustard, in essence. It is not a patch on the Wunderbar. It's not even worthwhile really using, if I'm honest, because it's too slow. I understand that this shave at the moment is at 21 minutes. I might finish up by 30 minutes. So it'll be in the same sort of time bracket, so it could just be throwing me out. I haven't talked as much as I normally do because I'm sort of concentrating as well. I just feel like I'm going over the same areas a lot to try and achieve the desired effect. But still, it's pretty damn good. See, I'm only 22 minutes in. I haven't talked a lot, so let's say that makes a big difference. I'm not talking shit all the time. I am just, because it's not quite as close, I'm just going to add a little bit more lather, and then just a light coating just on some of the areas. Just to sort of finish this off, see if I can get, with the final outcome, as good a shave as I get from my Kai blade in the Wunderbar. It just doesn't cut well enough. And to be honest with you as well, the other thing with this razor is the blades aren't cheap. I was talking with Ken Lee, I think he said they work out something like 54 cents a blade. And that's cheap compared to what one blade sells them at. Just having to spend a lot longer. Is it getting there? Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And as long as there's no irritation at the end of it, I'm not going to be too fussed. I've quite enjoyed using it. It's been very smooth. There's been no jumping and juttering, any of that crap. So in that regard, if you're looking for a smooth head shave, depending what the post shave's like with the witch hazel, this might be a razor for you. Very expensive though for a razor that I find you spend a lot of time trying to touch up. But it's the first razor I've used, even over the window bar, where I feel like I've got no fear at all using it. In terms of cutting myself, I feel like it's just almost bulletproof. I think you would even get away with not a very slick soap as well. I think it's just so safe. It just takes forever. That now is pretty much where I am with the Kai blade. So I'm at 28 minutes. I should have been there. I would probably have been there if I was talking the same amount of shit. I'd have been there a lot longer, a lot sooner with the Kai blade than the Wunderbar today, I think. Post shave feels actually pretty good for a bog standard cream. I will say, I don't know whether you guys notice, but I can see it in the mirror, easily see it in the mirror. My head is red, bright red, all over, bright red. It's not a good sign. Let's just see what this thing's like after this. There's medicated. I don't feel like I've got any irritation. There's no burn or anything like that, nothing at all that I can feel. We'll soon find out though. There's medicated, best smelling witch hazel you'll ever buy. If you love clovey scents, nice spicy, it smells like Christmas time. Oh, Clove Rock, love it. Well, there wasn't much burn there, so that's a good thing. That's a good start, because there's normally a good burn from the medicated. Right, while that's drying in, I'm just going to clean my brush out and let you guys know what else I have done. I know a lot of you guys don't watch my head shave, so here's it. I'm watching my head shave will now know that I've just ordered 8 Barrister and Man soaps. So I'm hoping you'll be here in the next sort of 15-20 days from Magard. I'm sort of making up for lost time as is. Oh yes, I can really smell that cream. Beautiful. Like I say, it's very inexpensive. It whips up amazing lathers. It's very mentholated, so it goes well with this. As much as there's no menthol in this, it is a very cooling layers as well. Another thing with creams is, when you use them in your bowl, you just need to rinse it. There's no mucking about with a hard soap trying to scoop it back out, scrape it all out once you've finished if you haven't used it all up. And I think that's pretty much dried in there. Let's have a feel. I just want to see if I've got any weepers or anything. Okay, let's try that again. I've run out of data again, but it wasn't because I didn't delete anything. My phone just is so chockers full of crap. I'm sort of struggling now, so I'm probably going to have to look at another form of recording these videos. Okay, so what did I get up to? I've got no idea. I think what I was using. In fact, I tell you what, since my head's pretty much dried in now, post shave feels great. I'm going to finish off now with the Nivea Too Faced again, because this is a real good tester of what my shave was like. If it burns like crazy, then I know I've got a lot of irritation up there from the alcohol. Massive splash here. Let's see how we go. Surprisingly little to no burn at all, and that's super smooth. There's nothing. It's BBS with no burn, so I'm very, very happy with that. I thought it was going to be bad, obviously not, but it's given me a bit more confidence to know that the one blade can give a irritation free shave. I've just got to figure out how to use it on my face and my neck. It is mainly on my neck area where I struggle with it, but we shall see, time will tell. Right, so I'm done and dusted. The cream for today was the Omega. Haven't used it for ages. Beautiful cream. If you haven't used it, just grab some. It's great, it's cheap. Take it with you on holiday, take it anywhere you want. It's in a tube, you can't go wrong. If you lose it, who cares? It's only a few bucks. The brush today was the Brush Guy brush made by Matt Martin. Smells great now, beautiful looking brush, really is a lovely brush. I never used to like the shape of them. Even still seeing them sometimes online, I think, oh, it's just not a nice shape brush, is it? It's absolutely lovely in the person, and it's great to hold. It just cups perfectly in your fingers there. It's a superb design, it really is. A lot of thoughts went into it, I think. It's very unusual, no one else makes brushes like that. The razor was the one blade. Beautiful razor, well designed, well built, well engineered. A lot of thought went into this razor. It's got the pivot. There's not much more you can say about it, if I'm honest. It's just a great razor. It's taken its time trying to get used to it on my face, but I will get there. I think I've just used it on my head with no irritation whatsoever on my head. The blades themselves look like that. They just clip straight in. They are very, very thick steel and stiff. So I'm surprised that they only tell you to use these once, but let's say it's a money making thing. And just to load it, all you do is you just slot it into that little channel at the back there. And it just pushes forward and clicks, and boom, you're done. And that's it. So it's a very easy blade to load, very easy blade to get out. It's very safe. Just pop it out. Alright, it's so tightly engineered. You've got to sort of, there you go, just wiggle it a little bit and it's out. So, excellent razor. It is reasonably efficient, not as efficient obviously as a slant with a Kai blade, but I got there in the end. Took me a bit of time, but I got there and ended up with an irritation free shave, so I really can't disagree with it. I've got no weepers, no cuts, no nicks, no bumps, no nothing, no rash on my head. Really impressed. And look, I've got to say as well, as much as this was burning, it's actually starting to feel and look a bit better already. It could be the Nivea. The Nivea is good stuff, but it is starting to feel and look a lot better than it did right after the shave. So I'm still getting good shaves with it, it's just that initial straight after it's a bit burny. Then moved on to Thayer's Witch Hazel, medicated, smells like cloves, smells incredible, love it. And finished off with the Nivea Too Faced. As you can see. Well guys, thanks very much for tuning in. 2 days to the giveaway. Please make sure if you haven't entered the giveaway, get yourself over there. All you need to do is comment if you're already a subscriber. If you haven't a subscriber, subscribe to the channel, which is just down here, and then comment on that video in the giveaway. It'll probably be 12 days ago. Tuesday, 2 weeks ago, just to give you a bit of an idea. But anyway, I've spoken enough shit now. You guys stay safe, drive safe, don't drink and drive. I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.